Welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. Now, we got a quest from Nok-Nok where we have to, I guess, help him retain his kingship. So, we are going to head out and do that. Let's see. Where? What? It's gotta be here somewhere. There we go. I had to fix the inventory, and I might have had my microphone muted for a little while there. So what I was saying is that I have to go there, just in case it was muted, I have to go there without anyone else except Nok-Nok, and my inventory was too full. So that's what I was saying at the time. Goblin clearing. Yeah, visit the goblin clearing with Nok-Nok alone. Journey will take 10 hours. And I think I want to buff a bit before we do anything here. If we're given the chance, that is. We are. So let's have a look at our potions. You can summon a wyvern. That's always useful. One round per level. That didn't do much. They're both hasted, good. You can't use that. Can use that though. I guess you can use the displacement potion as well. We can use that on both of them. And I want to put the Grandmaster's Rod on Caledorn here. Let's have the best healing potions available. Nok-Nok looks around uncertain. You don't see anyone, and no goblin shapes about. And no sign of a goblin camp either. Something feels wrong. There is a strange feel in the air and that hint of sulfur like you smelled on Nok-Nok's cap in the throne room. Nok-Nok speaks. This the place, but King not here yet. Nok-Nok sounds slightly relieved, but he still looks ready to bolt. Something isn't right. Nok-Nok nods, and as he does, you suddenly notice the surroundings melt away into trails of acrid smoke, revealing a number of goblins, weapons at the ready. Still, while their weapons are drawn, they do not attack. They have a curious light in their eyes you haven't seen before, and it takes you a second to realize its determination. They don't look scared at all, merely stand at the ready, as if awaiting the command to attack. As you take in your new opponents, a familiar figure emerges from the tree line, but walking strangely, as if fighting the urge to hunch down on all fours, almost feral. The figure looks to be the Goblin King you recall, but something is wrong about him. It's like someone tried to cram a larger creature inside his skin. Tufts of fur, like that of a wolf, peek from his rags, and his eyes, rather than dull and soft, seem to hold cold fire in them. So, the Lord of Cowardice returns. Is this Tartuk? When you think it can't get any worse, there is a strangely familiar thundering noise, and into the clearing lumbers none other than the hill giant Munguk. And from the smell of it, he's definitely been drinking. He stands behind the feral Goblin King, his huge club at the ready, and gives a low rumble, then snarls, pounding his chest. Munguk say he not like us play trick on him, keep him waiting. Nok-Nok whispers to you. He say hard to wait forever for promised drinks. It worse than getting stabbed with lance. Nok-Nok pauses. Lance not kill him, though, I guess. The king gazes at you, and you feel your scalp rise. As he speaks, his voice is a rasp, like knives being dragged across metal plate. Which of you was once ruled by this ragged shape I wear? The sooner your blood coats the ground, the sooner my debt here is done. All you cattle smell alike to me, whether you walk or roast on a skewer. Debt? To whom? The king snarls. I am a Barghest. I was summoned at the behest of a Fae to defeat an ally of one who claims this land, weakening this false king when the time of reckoning draws near. He nods at Nok-Nok and gives a barking laugh. Ha! She said it could be Annie I chose, so I chose the weakest one at your court, if only to fulfill my debt all the quicker and leave this wretched place. The price was that I had to take the shape of this humiliation. He glances down at his body. Diplomacy. What terms did you agree to? Maybe you can turn this against her, get your revenge. The Barghest growls, slowly and suspiciously, then to your surprise answers in clear, precise speech. When one of the allies of the pretender to the throne of the stolen lands lies beneath my feet, and their blood feeds the ground, I am freed instantly to return home to leave this vile plain behind me. One of my allies. Okay, so you chose Nok-Nok. Very brave. Fighting me would have been more fun, and fair. The creature snarls. I was told you are to be left for her. I care not why, but should you cross me, I've been given leave to slay you as well. It seems she wishes you to suffer longer than this one. It grins wolfishly. For the Fae and those of my kind, that will prove a much longer time than your flesh can withstand. The king turns to Nok-Nok. Come, goblin. The sooner I make a sport of you, the sooner I will allow you to die, perhaps with your limbs intact. Diplomacy? Nok-Nok, listen to me. Cut yourself now, let a drop of blood hit the ground, then fight him only long enough to have him pin you with his foot. Kick you, anything. Do that, and he vanishes. Nok-Nok looks at you blankly. Let him kick me? Not sure like this plan. Wasting no time, you grab his hand and keeping it from view of the bar guest, slice it enough to let blood fall on the ground. Nok-Nok stares at his bleeding palm until you forcibly curl his fingers back into his palm. Trust me, this will work. Nok-Nok advances slowly and the bar guest watches coldly, squatting slightly. Nok-Nok makes a strange sound in his chest. You realize he's speaking as if trying to soothe a guard dog, but no words are coming out. Come on, Nok-Nok, come on! As he's about to reach the eager bar guest, Nok-Nok stumbles, then falls face first into the fire. Screaming, he howls and begins to jump in place, waving his hands in pain. Rather than attacking, the assembled creatures watch in surprise and then strangely begin to howl with laughter, infuriating the bar guest. Snarling, the king leaps forward and knocks Nok-Nok to the ground, then begins to kick him a few times. You wince as you see one of Nok-Nok's teeth fly free from a kick, arcing through the air. Nok-Nok manages another scream, cut off as the bar guest grinds its foot into his face, extinguishing the flames and his screams. Step forward. That does it. When the unfortunate goblin is put out, the bar guest glares at the surrounding creatures and gives a snarl. Their laughter falls silent, all except one, a new voice, a little shaky, but one you recognize. Nok-Nok, bleeding from his spit lip and kicks to the face, however, gives weak laugh. Me beneath foot! Blood! While blood already lies on the ground, Nok-Nok spits for good measure, adding more red to the ground. On dirt! Promise to mean Flower Lady done? The bar guest freezes in shock, then suddenly vanishes, leaving Nok-Nok alone on the ground. The surrounding goblins blink as if a spell is removed. Even Munguk looks confused by what has happened. Their shock won't last long. I've never fought. Nok-Nok is picking himself up, but it's clear he has no idea what to do next, oblivious to the potential threats waking up around him, still rubbing his face to brush off the blood and ash, and is starting to glance around, distractedly looking for his teeth. Guess I could make Nok-Nok... Hold on, I don't want to make Nok-Nok a king. Hold on, maybe the disappearance of the king will drive them all away. Indeed it did. Well... Okay. That scared me a bit. The creatures at the defeat of their king file away slowly, melting back into the trees until it's only you and Nok-Nok again. It is time to go. Nok-Nok gives a half smile, then nods at you. Not so hard. Tell your mother of beasts watch over me. She not let another beast get to me. Be silent. You've led us into enough messes for the day, and don't let your tongue lead you into another. Still, would like to speak with you later. Need something. Nok-Nok seems lost in thought. Nok-Nok wants yet another word. quite demanding, this little goblin. What's going on in the kingdom? Okay. 2 new projects, which are under rank up and economy. Yeah, minting the coin. 45 days. I mean, it's nice, but I would have to keep 5,000 build points, and still it would take 100 days. Well, that's not more than 3.5 months, but still. But keeping Jubilost away for 45 days, I'm not for sure I'm happy with that. That one would have been useful, but it no longer is. I guess I can do it though. Trading with rest of. Easier claim. That one could be useful. The treasurer doesn't need any more bonus. Restoration of the Silver Shield Fortress. That is 30 days. We're in the beginning of the month, so in case of problems, I don't think so. No. We never have unrest, so I mean, we are at the level of serene. Prove diplomacy, that's useful. 14 days. I don't think the general needs more. That is also not necessary. That one could definitely be useful, but she's busy doing something else. Trade agreement with Pitax, no. Talented recruits, no. We don't need +1 BP per week. This one is actually quite tempting. That would be 5, 7, 9, 11, 18 per week. That is actually quite nice. But no, I don't think so. I have enough gold to just pay for the build points anyway. Heck, we're a millionaire. Almost a millionaire, but still. They are fatigued. Let's just use rations. You can camouflage the camp, can't you? 39? Would work well.
I need to think of a title for myself. Nok-Nok all terrifying, or Nok-Nok all conquering? Nok-Nok fearsome foolering? Needs more think thoughts.
I like that. Nok-Nok fearsome foolering. That's perfect, Nok-Nok. You go ahead and have that title. Enter and go to the throne room. Nok-Nok wants to talk to us again. Well, let's go talk to Nok-Nok in the square. If you could call that square now. I mean, it's gigantic. Let's cast haste on ourselves, and we have to go down here. Nok-Nok doesn't look up at your approach. He's hunched over, hard in thought, one of his ears even twitching, slightly at the effort. You might want to stop thinking before you hurt yourself. Nok-Nok, is something wrong? Nok-Nok's ear twitching stops in mid-twitch, and he swivels his head toward you. Been thinking about being a hero. If Nok-Nok can even be a hero or not. He nods at you. You are longshanks and half-shanks who speak poorly, mangle words, bathes. He gestures around. But you make big tribe, found nation, build big city. Even if city smells bad, do great things, and Nok-Nok does things and they seem small, ridiculous. I want to do what you do, but asking how? Not everyone's meant to be a hero in the same way. Nok-Nok looks downcast, his face uncertain. He stares at the ground and he seems defeated. Caledorn right, useless, couldn't make a difference. A hero could. Aw. He glances at you. Still, Nok-Nok will stay, keep trying. Find a way, and if not... He gives a tiny shrug. Then no worse off than before. That's the spirit. Maybe one day it'll happen. Nok-Nok sighs, then looks up at you. You want something else? Are all the Lamashtu shrines down? Nok-Nok's ears droop. That probably sounded like a weird echo effect. All down. Easier to knock down than we were to build up. He glances around. I hope Mother not upset with me, with us. If so, worry beasts will find us. Leave the matter alone indeed. Go back to the throne room. So, Nok-Nok. Yeah, no, I don't really want him to have any kind of Lamashtu's chosen thing going on. How about mentioning in my comments that I could make him the court jester at some point, but somehow that seems a bit harsh. Okay. The mercenary army. One of the neighboring rulers is in a difficult situation. He faces war, but he has no means to wage it. He asks that you provide him with soldiers for his mercenary army. Of course, the pay he offers is generous, but are our soldiers' lives worth only gold? Is it worth the risk to make our country more vulnerable by sending our soldiers to fight for someone else? No, I don't think so. We'll ignore that one. Let's rank up economy again. Economy reached rank 9. Didn't assign, you know, a War of Shadows, Econdius spies, ministers... Econdius spies successfully infiltrated the ranks of one of the criminal clans. After they convinced the gang chief to set up a huge ambush, they secretly informed her enemy about it. A bloody battle ensued and both bands utterly destroyed each other. 3 espionage. The luxurious ritual procession fascinated the locals. Congregations have flocked to the temples, and our citizens devote themselves to mindful contemplation. 5 divine. Tristian's people made sure that not a single coin was stolen or wasted. The people greatly appreciated the much-needed gold, as well as the fact that the money wasn't embezzled by the government. 1 economy, 2 community, and 5 loyalty. In the future, diplomats will bring in additional resources, plus 3 BP each time the Grand Diplomat successfully resolves the situation. Oh, I thought it was plus 3 to her skill. Okay. Now Keston has 13 instead of 11 when he resolves problems. Good. Allows for faster region claims, and upgrades, reducing the time required by half. We can strengthen Magar's skill as a treasurer and Bartholomew's skill as a treasurer because we've ranked it up. The People's Wrath. There has been a riot in the region. People rebelling against a corrupt mayor again. 45%, 80%, 100%. Then there are some merchants who want to cooperate with us. Wait, I think I could get her to get more points. Testimony of loyalty. 100%, 80%. Okay, so I need to level up stability to get the ability to train him more. Okay, that makes sense. Tristian, you can deal with that. Rogongar, you can deal with that. This is just 6 days, so you can deal with that, I guess. The Regent. Advisors. That is community. We need to rank up community as well to get more points on her. I know why you applied such effort, Caledorn, why you turned this wasteland into an advanced, wealthy and prosperous state. And today you will hear the words you have been striving for all this time. I am proud of you. Ah, great. Jubilost chuckles contentedly. Oh, I'm only joking. Although I do respect the way you dealt with this mess of a bureaucracy, I couldn't have done it any better. It's a good thing that you put an end to all those bureaucrats mistreating the townsfolk. We managed to fill the treasury, overflow it in fact, literally. The abundance of gold in the royal treasury has caused our subjects to develop a nasty disease. Greed, causing an acute inflammation of envy. Take my advice. Invite a famous weather mage from Absalom to the capital. I've heard his lectures. He's a true harvest-saving expert. He will protect the crops against flood or drought. Another option is to send our gifted youth abroad for study. On the other hand, if we harbour less than noble intentions, we might set up a few trade offices in neighbouring countries to serve as cover for your agents. Sure, let's invite a weather mage. Perfect! Finally, I'll have someone to talk to. I mean, academically. 5 loyalty and 5 arcane. The events. Iron Heart of the Land. I see no reason not to do that. Requires 7 days now. A deal has been struck. Trade in the kingdom has perked up as more tools, machines and other craftsmen's goods are being imported to the capital. 7 economy. We can actually rank up economy to level 10. I'm a bit wary about doing arcane protection from compulsions. No. Trading with Breinhardt. That's actually a worthy option. Requires 30 days though. Baldur Fighting School. That is not something we need. I definitely don't need divine protection from... This takes 6 days as well. Mountain Resort. Expensive though. Although we're getting 60 BP per week now, so... Yeah, let's get that. Jaethal staged a show where the mage summoned monsters in special cages and then sent them back to their home planes in a snap. The peasants were so impressed that they asked the mage for more shows. +4 culture. The ceremony which Tristian organized was a success. The neighboring settlements sent elected messengers who brought an assortment of gifts. 5 loyalty. Going south, many of those who inhabit the stolen lands are closely familiar with the art of robbery. A few daredevils have decided to bring back the good old days and organize a raid on Kadira. Showing them support will make them share some of the loot. The books, of course. I don't think so. And Jubilost is waiting for an audience. He has succeeded in solving the Fey riddles. And that should be interesting. You do remember our little adventure with the Fey Lords and their inconsequent debates? Damn them. Before you ask by damn them, I mean both the debates and the Lords. Anyway, I've been thinking about that dreadful verbiage we received as a reward for the trials. The answer to the question about the fate of the gnome race. Allow me to remind you of the text. Numbers will help you on your way. One of them is 5th in 10. It will be easy to find if you read who opened the road for the ancient dead man and his black-feathered messenger. The second is 12 times in 12. Well, this is obvious. The Raven and the Cyclops King. The second is 12 times in 12, and thrice is the number of those who lost their faces. The Faceless Sisters. Don't try to guess it now. It's not yet time. Wait until he who is born twice will twice be defeated. Put the two numbers together. When the moon leaves her path near the waters of the Candlemere, find the one who will open the secret. Not a single reasonable creature would spend valuable time solving this sort of phrase mince. If only someone knew how much effort it required to treat the matter seriously. But it paid off. It's obvious that the part about open the road for the ancient dead man and his black-feathered messenger refers to Willis Gunderson, who awakened Mordecai. This guess led me to think. Obviously that part about he who is born twice will twice be defeated refer to Armagh. Exactly. We couldn't have known that at the time of the debates because we hadn't even met Armagh yet, which makes me wonder who this respected host might be. But that's neither here nor here. Here nor there. Well, it's Irovetti, the king of Pitax. It's my guess at least. So, what do we know? The riddle recommends we start looking after the twice born is twice defeated, and that's happened. The other part, thrice the number of those who lost their faces, that's also only clear now. It's 24. 3 times the number of the defaced sisters there were. But the rest, what does it mean? When the moon leaves her path, and how does 12 times in 12 equate to 24? I'll have to study some astronomy reference books and write to some priests of Desna that I'm acquainted with. It's probably about some rare celestial phenomenon. I doubt it's that complicated. I meant to ask you to deal with the first part of the riddle, the one about Willis Gunderson. Remember the riddle. We don't need to find him or talk to him, just read him. Here is what I think it means. I discovered that the poor fellow wrote and published a few horrendous books. Perhaps the answer is hidden in one of them? The very thought of digging through that parody of literature is disgusting. I'd very much appreciate, some help. Perhaps some book lover in this city will have a volume or two of his work. Intelligence check passed. Do you think a dozen times in a dozen is about something that happens every month? There's a 24th day in every month, and there are 12 of them in a year. Jubilost looks at you with suspicion. Everything can't be that simple. Or can it? With a Fae, you never know. Well, it's a good guess, but it still doesn't spare us the need to look at the dreadful books. Alright, I will look for Gunderson's books and try to make some sense of them. Good luck on this difficult quest. I remind you, the riddle says we need to find something 5th in 10 and somehow related to Gunderson's writing. We put it together with the number 24 and go to the Candlemere when the moon leaves her path. Would that be as simple as in daytime? I hope this isn't some elaborate Fae prank, because if it is, I won't have to do any more research to understand what made the gnomes leave the First World. It was the stinking neighbors. Mad scientist's gloves. You continue making alchemical items. So what are mad scientist's gloves? 15 fire and 15 acid resistance. Bring Willis Gunderson's book to Jubilost's. The door to nowhere. Well, that X probably means I failed it. I guess I should have been nicer to him, but I really don't want him to have any delusions of grandeur. So, Willis Gunderson's books. Let me just quickly check that so that I don't have to look around and spend time searching the entire city for that. Okay, so we just need to talk to the merchants in the square, and also, funnily enough, the place where I find these little tidbits of information is called yekbot.com. Do you have any book? No, you have an insane amount of scrolls, but no books. Does Hassef have a book? How about Tessie? There we go. Tessie, do you have any books by Willis Gunderson? Pardon me, your highness. I once took a couple of his books with me, and I dragged them around for 3 years till someone bought them for a pittance as kindling. Won't be easy to find finding the works of that scribbler. Maybe someone in town has some. Tell me, do you have any books by Willis Gunderson? It's like you're interrogating me. Of course I do. Everyone says he's bad, but I like him. The guy writes with feeling. I mean, used to write. Can I borrow these books? Of course. Read away. Items received. Valor and Honor. 10 Adventures of the Splendid Willis Gunderson in Absalom. Right. This is fairly amusing. Table of Contents from the author, page 2. Prologue, page 36. Adventure 1, The Fearless Rescue of a Lone Tempting Beauty, page 40. Adventure 2, Visiting the Beauty, page 117. Skillful Illustrations, page 300 to 320. Adventure 3, Running from the Beauty's Enraged Spouse, page 321. Adventure 4, Hiding in the Catacombs, page 440. Adventure 5, In the Corner of the Tavern, interesting, page 500. Some recipes of food and drinks studied by the author during his attempt to hide in the tavern, page 580 to 660. Adventure 6, Seeking Rescue Amongst Artists of the Travelling Circus, page 661. Adventure 7, In the Tiger's Cage, page 715. Adventure 8, Running from Tigers, page 750. How? Adventure 9, Failing to Escape Tigers, page 914. Almost 200 pages about running from tigers. Well now. Adventure 10, Salvation from Tigers by the Servants of the Beauty's Spouse, Reunion with the Beauty, a long conversation about valor and honor, a proper farewell, page 960. Epilogue, page 1200. The author's parting words, page 1317. A page for the author's autograph, in case you are lucky enough to meet him, page 1500. Pooh. Well, we should discuss that with Jubilost, but that will have to wait until the next episode. So for now, thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you all then.